Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It is once again time for the WADcast, the writers, actors, directors podcast, and all of those other awesome jobs on the set in between to help bring all of those wonderful things that we call movies and television to life. I am one of your hosts, Josh, joined as always by what's his face from that place with the things, Brandon.
What's up, everybody? Happy Friday nights. Good to see all of you, or I guess hang out with all of you. I don't really see anyone except from Josh. So, yeah, happy Friday. Hope everyone's having a great night. Finishing up the Christmas shopping, or at least hopefully not just starting it, but, yeah, that's what I got. I'm not good at multitasking. Josh, cover for me.
Okay, well, it has been a crazy week here in Wadco land, as I'm sure all of you have heard, listening to all of the great podcasts this week. Things just this time of year start going off the rails, so naturally, things tend to follow suit here. It's usually a technical issue, but every once in a while you get a personnel issue, like, Brandon trying to come into the office wearing a tuxedo just to prove a point. Don't know what that's about, but here we are.
Yeah, wow.
I'm glad you decided to dress down for the show.
I'll tell you right now, everyone that was trying to call me last week, they're all officially blocked for tonight. So I shouldn't have any issues whatsoever.
Yes, the day job that's like, Brandon, we need you.
Yeah.
On the air. If you didn't get a chance to check that out,
yeah. I got booted like 3 or 4 times, and I was getting pissed. I don't think I was even hiding how pissed off I was over that. It was like, my job. I had one rule: Friday nights are a no-go.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm able to be there by 9, I'll be there by 9 to help out. But beyond that, I'm not available. So, it was very well documented on the air, on our show, exactly what I think about the people I work with. And they saw it, too. I showed it to them. I showed it to them on Sunday night when I went back in.
And did they enjoy the show?
Oh, they enjoyed it. They're like, oh, why is it cutting off? It's like, well, because you jackasses are calling me. So...
yeah,
I use my phone to record my end of the show here. I don't use my laptop or my computer or anything like that. I use the phone. So that being the case, that's why I was kind of screwing up my mojo a little bit. But those people. Anyway, I'm not going to recant that whole rant that I went on last week. So we're just going to move on from this topic.
Yeah,
and discuss what we're doing tonight.
Episode number 113.
Yeah.
Tonight's episode 114.
Yep. So I feel we'll just talk about what we're going to talk about, and I'll let you lead us into it.
All right. Well, during the times when things get a little bit hectic, messages start flying, comments sections on Facebook start getting lit up. It's time for a headlines week on the WADcast. That way we can inform you about what everybody's abuzz about. And there have been a few stories where people just don't want to shut up.
Yep.
And usually those are our favorite people to kind of address, and not necessarily dress down. Talk down to them, be mean or anything. But we'll take some stories. We'll take some comments, some commentary, and kind of tell people why they're wrong most of the time. and give you an informed opinion on the news of the week. At least try to. So, what do you think, Brandon?
About what?
Okay.
Well, yeah, I don't. What do you want my opinion on?
Just the idea that we're gonna talk about news.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Okay. Sure.
That's what I want to hear. I want to hear the enthusiasm.
But you have everything, so I don't have like.
I do.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of like responding to your headlines here. I don't really, I'm ill prepared.
All right, the first story, I guess, is a little bit of a list. AFI, the American Film Institute, every year they it's not necessarily super awardy, but they talk about, hey, these were the best 10 films this year. Whether or not they deserve to be on the list is quite frankly irrelevant. I just want to know, out of these 10, how many you have personally seen, since these are supposed to be the best.
Are you asking me personally?
Yeah, I'm asking you personally. How many of the movies I'm about to name have you seen? One of them I know you haven't, because it hasn't been released and won't be released for another week. So this is the American Film Institute's 10 best movies of the year. And I'll start with Avatar: The Way of Water. You haven't seen it.
Refuse to see it.
Refused. I still haven't seen the first one.
I have no interest in it whatsoever. It just, I don't need a sequel to Ferngully.
Well, there was a sequel to Ferngully.
Yeah. I didn't watch that one, so I'm not going to watch this one.
Fair enough. I haven't seen the first Avatar. And the way that James Cameron's been kind of going off lately, comparing
don't get me wrong, the first Avatar, it was entertaining. It was okay, but I can't really recall anything in that movie that really stuck out to me, aside from the fact that they're going after a mineral. I shit you not, named unobtainium.
Yeah.
Because it was unobtainable. So they named it unobtainium. Like, really? All right.
So creative.
That's where we're going. Giovanni Ribisi was pretty good in it.
He's always good.
Beyond the Stephen Lang.
I had no idea he was in it.
Yeah, he's not like a upfront and center character, but Stephen Lang was pretty good in it.
Mm-hmm.
I hear he's in this new one, so I'm curious how. I don't know.
Well, I know James Cameron's been kind of going off about the visual effects of Avatar 2, and somebody asked about comparing it to Marvel, and he's like, it's night and day, the difference between our VFX and Marvel. And personally, my first thought was, yeah, it's probably going to be very different, considering you've been working on this for, a decade, trying to master these visuals.
Well, let's also talk about the other thing that's more important than effects. What is the story like? You can have like a beautiful piece of shit.
that was another article that I didn't put into the shuffle, but I thought it might come up here. And here we are. I read an article that said the draft that James Cameron sent into the studio was sent back with no notes, and they said it was perfect.
See, I feel like this is. I read something else about how like Avatar 4, they're like, oh my god, it's so exciting. Like I've read so much stuff about the Avatar, whatever. But you know what? There's actually two things I can think of when I hear about how James Cameron is the golden child filmmaker for the studio. Whenever my nieces or nephews draw a horse, and I can't tell what the hell it is, and they're like, oh, it's a horse. I'm like, oh, that's a beautiful horse. It's the best looking damn horse I've ever seen in my life. I'm lying my ass off. It's an ugly ass thing. I don't know what the hell it is. But as far as they're concerned, they're happy. James Cameron makes the studio a lot of money. Avatar is basically Pocahontas in space. Yeah, it's let's just go with Pocahontas meets Ferngully meets Alien
Meets Dances with Wolves.
Meets Dances with Wolves, all this stuff. It's just on another planet. It's a stupid ass movie. But the thing is, like, so someone like James Cameron, where he has a script, it's so great. Everyone's excited about making this movie, and that's wonderful. It really is. Studios have been kind of like using piss poor judgments the last couple of years here, right? I mean, like they've had a few good movies, but largely what they put out is just shit. Most times they're we're like this stage now where everything's either a reboot or it's a long awaited sequel to a movie that exists over how long? Like 20 years? 10, 20 years ago? For the sake of fan service and nostalgia? I have much more faith in the independent cinema at all times than I do with anything that any major studio puts out. So to hear like a studio head that's so far gone from the pulse of society is like, oh, this is amazing. This is going to be great. Like, you know, I hope it crashes and burns, because look at what happened with Black Adam.
Yeah.
I do have that as a headline. That's the one thing I do have to talk about.
Okay. Well, as soon as we get through this first story, we'll visit that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Now on to movies that you either might have seen or might have an interest in seeing. The next one on the list is Elvis.
No. Can't stand Elvis as a singer. Can't stand a movie about him. Don't care. He died for a reason on the toilet.
It was Baz Luhrmann. I was curious. I watched it. It wasn't the worst thing in the world, but
his singing was about as valuable as what came out of his ass before he died.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry. I can't stand. I could never stand Elvis. I never saw the whole appeal.
He's a pop star.
Yeah, he sucked. He was horrible.
Okay, that's a take.
Yeah. My opinion, ladies and gentlemen, I don't care what you think about my opinion. You have yours, I have mine. In my opinion, Elvis just sounded at the very best like an average person going to karaoke for the first time. So, yeah. Right.
Well, next up is Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Okay, what about it?
What?
The award?
It's on the list, the one we're talking about.
And that was a good movie. That's actually the only one so far that's actually, you know. I like that movie.
The Fabelmans.
Don't know it.
I've heard of it. Mildly interested from what I understand. I can't really remember anything about it. Nope.
It was a good movie.
I think so too. Next up is, this one's new to me, She Said.
Don't know it.
Oh, I did hear about that one because I made the joke in Movie Addiction. So that's what she said. I think I made a lot of people's hearts and brains hurt after that.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one, bud.
Then there's Tar.
No clue.
Yeah, I got nothing on that. And of course, the biggest movie of the year, Top Gun Maverick. Mind you, I said biggest because
it was predictable.
It was Star Wars.
It was predictable, yeah. We know it's a Tom Cruise movie. We know he's not going to die in the movie. So the whole he got shot down. No, he didn't. He got shot down because he survived.
I did like the way that it turned from fighter jet to okay, now we're now we're on foot and we're gonna do this awesome thing where we steal a jet. I was like, yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. It just seems like one of those things where the writers were saying, okay, we need him to have an awesome story to tell in a bar one day. So
Yeah.
how should it go?
It was 2 hours of Tom Cruise sucking himself off, like the guy in Scary Movie 2.
Okay.
It wasn't. I'm sorry, man. It was all right.
Next up is the Woman King.
No. No.
After that is Women Talking.
I'm not too sure. Is it like The View?
Haven't heard of it.
Yeah, I never heard of it.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And yeah, that's the whole 10 for the AFI top 10 movies of the year.
Oh God! So the Woman King is actually in the top 10.
Yeah.
How?
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I turned it off. It's like this. It's this. It's based on true events. True events. And it's the same as like one of those horror films, like Annabelle. Wasn't Annabelle really based off of a Raggedy Ann doll?
No, it's actually based on a real life haunted doll.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, isn't it like a Raggedy Ann doll?
No, it was a. It's kind of based on Chucky, and Chucky was based on Robert the Doll, who is in a museum in Key West.
Let's see it real quick.
At least that's what I believe the origins of all of these haunted doll movies.
Yes. Okay. No, the Annabelle was actually, it was not a porcelain doll. It was a Raggedy Ann doll. The initial doll that everyone said was haunted was a Raggedy Ann doll.
Read the comments.
Read the comments. No, the Conjuring guys. The Conjuring guys.
I haven't seen the Conjuring.
Well, no. The Conjuring is like, well, I'm getting at Sarah and hi. Good to see you on here, sweetie. Co-worker of mine, former co-worker of mine, really awesome person. But no, with Annabelle. Annabelle is part of the Conjuring universe. It has like the Ed and Lorraine Warren at the center front of the series.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Have you ever read about Ed and Lorraine Warren? Like the marriage and everything else, like
no idea what you're talking about.
You've never seen The Conjuring, any of those movies?
No.
Josh.
I'm not a horror guy.
Okay, they come up as like such a great power couple in the movies, when in reality he beat the hell out of that woman. Like he abused the hell out of his wife. And then he also had a young lover. These are like very religious people. He had a young lover that moved in with him. He got her knocked up, and Lorraine Warren told her to get an abortion.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, I know, right? And they made the girl get an abortion. They were horrible people. Absolutely horrible people. But in all these movies, they are just like heroes. The sweetest couple you'd ever meet in your life, apparently. But yeah, it's damn. But yeah, so it's yeah.
Well, you said you had some news about Black Adam.
No, Black Adam. That whole point is well, first off, people don't really seem to understand what it takes for a movie to break even.
Yeah.
When it's released into theaters. People think like, oh, this movie cost $300 million and it made $300 million. It broke even. Like, well, no, it didn't.
No, it lost money.
Because they spent $300 million to make a movie.
Mm-hmm.
If it made $300 million at the box office, you still spent that $300 million. To make your investment back, you have to make twice that much,
like 2.5
in the
times,
budget.
right?
But you had 2.5 times. But you have to, like, at the very least, to break even, you have to make on $300 million movie, you have to make $600 million on that movie to break even. To get a profit, yes, it's got to be 2.5 times like the initial budget. So people don't really understand, like, oh, well, like, it's like this. Like, well, no, if I have $30 and then I pay for something, and that something kind of gets me to zero, I still would have spent that $30.
Right.
You spend $300 million, you go into a deficit in your budget, it goes into the negatives. Like, I don't have any more. Oh, I've got to pull more money out of this too. So it goes further into the budget, and then the budget, like, after it like gets released into theaters, and then you have to worry about marketing, all the other things. I'm not going to go into it right now, but the thing is, like, still, it made roughly about what they spent on the movie, maybe a little bit more, but not much. But for a movie that was going to reshape superhero movies, what do we think about the Wens series? I don't know what that is.
Is that sports ball?
Look it up real quick.
To the research machine.
But yes.
Yeah, I'll vamp about Black Adam real quick. To your point, it's like gambling, right? You put $1 in the slot machine. Now imagine that you put $1 in and it says you win $1, except the machine gets to keep half of that dollar. So
yep.
You only get 50 cents on that. So think of that as the theaters taking their cut, because the theaters are going to get their cut. So that's why you kind of have to make back twice as much, because everyone's going to be dipping their hand into your pocket to get their piece of the pie.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Forrest Gump. That's a different story, but at the end of the day, it's considered it lost money. Why? Well, that's a really long story, but it's also one of the reasons why Winston Groom hates Hollywood, I guess, because they used Forrest Gump to kind of cover a lot of losses for the studio or something like that.
Oh, Wednesday series. Okay, sorry. Go ahead and finish. I watched the whole thing. I liked it. I didn't think I would, except Luis Guzman.
Luis Guzman?
Luis Guzman, he should not have been Gomez. I'm sorry, that was a horrible miscasting. Because he is Luis Guzman in everything. Raul Julia was miscast as Gomez. If you think like physical appearance, Gomez was always like this portly, like this very portly kind of like just like not really attractive guy with like a pig nose.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have Raul Julia back in the 1990, I think, for the Addams Family.
Yeah.
And just gave him like this suave, debonair, like just, awesome kind of character with this very suave personality that matched along with it. He physically was miscast, but he brought that really cool, quiet calm that Gomez had,
mm-hmm.
and also the eccentricity that he had. And he brought the two together and made this you think of Gomez Adams, a lot of people, if they watch the original movie before they knew much about Adams Family, they think of him, much like they think of Christina Ricci as Wednesday.
Yeah.
But Homegirl slated as Wednesday. She did a great job. She knocked it out of the park. Yeah, like she did a great job with it. The whole series is actually really cool. It was a very interesting take. I love Thing. Thing was my favorite part. It's actually pretty graphic in the show. I'd never seen Thing flick somebody off before. Or try to kill somebody. But no, like with Black Adam, I think it made like $400 million. So like, it's pretty much losing $100 million. The studio is losing $100 million on the project by making only like $500 million. I'm sorry, $400 million. It's losing $100 million.
Well, in an article from Deadline, so take it for what you will.
Pull this up.
It looks like, at least according to this article, at the end of its run, Black Adam should be actually in the black by about $50 million.
Oh God!
So basically, barely. I know $50 million. People are like, that's a lot of money. It's like, no, not when we're talking about,
Oh yeah, okay.
Scale. On this scale, $50 million is like you eked it out.
Yeah.
It's basically saying no one's going to lose money, but I still wouldn't bet on trying to do it again. If I were running the studio, I'd be like, I mean, we could probably bring the character back, but not his own thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, look at this. With a global loss of $390 million and 195 million production costs, and a P&A spend between 80 million and 100 million, it's looking to net between 52 million to 72 million dollars out of the $390 million budget. Actually, I'm sorry, out of the almost $600 million budget. Ladies and gentlemen, that's not good. We spent $600 million. We're probably going to make around like $50 to $70 million off of it. Man, that's not good. Like that's bad.
All right, we have more comments about Wednesday.
I watched it too. I loved it. The dad was fat. It's not even a matter of just being fat. Like the guy he is the same person in everything he's in. It doesn't matter what Luis Guzman is in. He is Luis Guzman. Watch him in Dumb and Dumber. You watch him in what was it, Waiting. You watch him in Anger Management. You watch him in anything. He's Luis Guzman. It doesn't matter. He's just the same person over and over and over and over and over and over and over. It doesn't change. Like it's just watching him act is like a damn chore.
In Community, he plays the part that he was born to play. Luis Guzman.
I'd had to actually see that, but I don't think I would watch it because he is playing anything.
No, I think he literally is playing himself for one episode because he is Greendale Community College's most prestigious alumni.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, the party was born to play.
It's painful watching him act. And it's just because, like, I think you and I have had this conversation before, right? Where you have actors that are always playing a specific character. Doesn't matter how popular they are or how average they are. The Rock, Ryan Reynolds, Bruce Willis, is going Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Louis Guzman, Dane Cook. Anything that they act in, they pretty much do the same thing. Dane Cook is an exception because he actually did a decent job in Mr. Brooks. But then you have actors that are now that comedic actors that are now on that list, like Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler is an amazing actor. I gotta give it to him.
Yeah.
You watch his dramatic shit, it's amazing. Jim Carrey, you watch his dramatic performances, it's absolutely amazing. Louis Guzman is just Louis Guzman.
Yeah, people knock on Adam Sandler about some of the movies he makes when in reality you could hear him saying, "I've got mortgages."
Oh, yeah, he's got the man alone. He's got a broken back from carrying Rob Schneider his entire career. Like Rob Schneider and Kevin James.
Hey, now Kevin James, does stuff on his own.
He's an asshole.
He doesn't rely on being the other guy in an Adam Sandler movie.
No, he relies on he relies on King of Queens and playing the same character in everything he's in. He's another one that's on that list.
With the
yeah, he always plays like this opie looking dude that's always like just baffled by his own existence. Like, oh my God, how do I have a career? Oh, that's right, I'm Kevin James, and thanks, Adam Sandler.
I watched that football movie he did where he played the quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. Not the quarterback, the coach. What am I thinking? The coach for the New Orleans Saints, the one that got suspended for putting hits out on other players on other teams. The real life stuff. So he's suspended for a year, can't be with the team, and real treacherous stuff, right?
Yeah.
Putting bounties on players and telling them, take them out. And so you would think, oh, they're going to make a movie that includes this storyline. It's going to be this big drama, right? With Kevin James? No. And then I watched it and it's like, okay, so he's playing and now yeah, he's kicked off the NFL for a little while, banished from the NFL. So he's gonna go coach his son's football team, and they're gonna reconnect, and he's gonna be this hero type character. What the hell? This is like dude's a real life, villain, right? And he gets this heartwarming movie about how he gets to go coach his son's football team and lead them from rags to riches and things like that. That it feels wrong. It absolutely feels wrong that and Kevin James was the perfect guy for it, because that's the kind of movie he does. But there was a reason why he, the coach was suspended from the NFL, and
home team.
Just kind of, I guess that's it. I don't remember. It's just that memorable. But if I'm, maybe that was a different movie. I don't remember. One of the great shows I watched this year was the new season of the Mighty Ducks Game Changers, and yeah, I love that show. Sue me.
Was Rob Schneider in this one too?
No, I don't think so.
Here's that's the New Orleans Saints one Super Bowl head coach. I think this is it. Yeah. For 1 year due to his involvement in the Bounty Gate scandal. He returns to his hometown, reconnects with his 12-year-old son by coaching his middle school football team at the Liberty Christian Argyle, Texas.
Yep.
Rob Schneider as Jamie, a man who is Beth's latest husband. Taylor Lautner as Troy Lambert. Jackie Sandler as Beth, Sean's ex-wife and Jamie's wife. See who else is in here from Adam Sandler's movies. Jared Sandler, Sonny Sandler. John Farley, Dan Patrick. Okay. Wow, this really is based off of. Wow. Okay. God.
The dude's, accused of some heinous stuff. So what happens? They Disneyfy the story and make it something for the whole family to enjoy. That's some craziness to me. Now, mind you, he is a bit of a jerk, kind of a distant father figure, but his journey is, connecting to his son. That's his journey. Doesn't mention anything about his involvement in the bounties or anything like that. No. That just happens to be the catalyst for the story, and then it gets dropped. Rarely mentioned, except for the townspeople that give him like the side eye, like.
Yeah.
And that's what that is. I know you're not going to watch it.
I'm not at all. I can't stand Kevin James. So it mentions nothing about him paying other players to injure other players.
No, in fact, it has nothing about that other than, he was suspended for this. And then time to go home and reconnect with my child.
Wow. And I'm going to assume Adam Sandler is like an executive producer of this movie.
I imagine so.
Because it's on Netflix, and Adam Sandler does have a deal with Netflix over, Happy Madison movies. Is it Happy Madison?
Does anybody else hire Kevin James?
Because now I'm curious if this is like a Happy Madison production. Oh, God.
Find that yet?
Looking up right now.
Let's see. Home team. Happy Madison Productions.
God. I'm going to have to watch this after I read up on the whole scandal of like the of him paying players to injure other players. I just see how hard this movie hits me in the feels over this character. But you know what? Honestly, looking back to anger management in 2003, at the time, Mayor Rudy Giuliani was praised by Adam Sandler at the end of the movie about how he was a great guy. Nothing against Adam Sandler, but your judgment's a little askew here, pal.
Well, 2003, that was 2 years after 9/11, so everyone still thought Giuliani was an okay guy.
No, a lot of people didn't. As a person living in New Jersey at the time, a lot of people did not think he was a good guy. He had some scandals going on back then.
It's amazing how a national tragedy can scrub the record for the rest of the country.
I know, right? Like, he's a mayor of New York City. Give him a break. Like, no.
Do you know what just happened in his
city? That was 2 years ago. Like, come on. Oh God.
We said never forget, Brandon.
I feel so damn old. Oh, come on. People remember that United You Stand shit for maybe 30 seconds. And then the next step was people that owned 7-Elevens or anyone that had a turban were being attacked.
For America.
Yeah. For America.
Just so we're clear, rolling my eyes,
Team America came out.
Mm.
And then Team America came out. I mean, come on.
Matt Stone and Trey Parker's Call to Arms.
Durka, Durka, Durka. Oh, Durka, Durka. It was so bad. Oh, God. I need to watch that movie again. Blow up, Americans blow up Paris. It's okay, guys. We stopped the terrorists. And they blew up. Oh, God. That's what we need a sequel of. Trey Parker, Matt Stone, please give us a sequel to Team America World, please. We need one. We really need one. South Park's had plenty of movies at this point between Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, and with the COVID movies and all that stuff. We've had enough South Park. Give us another Team America. Oh, God.
Well, I'm going to redirect here real quick.
Go ahead.
We're going to talk about one of your least favorite things, awards.
Good. Talk about them. I'll be right back.
Bathroom break?
Sure.
Okay. All right, kids, it's just us. Wait, that sounds weird. All right, everybody, it's just us. Let's talk about the People's Choice Awards. Okay, we're not really going to talk about it. I'm just going to deliver some information to you, and take it for what it's worth. This is just who won. And I'm not going to go through all the categories because, quite frankly, there's a lot of them. But I'm going to get through some of the ones that are sort of less. My mic volume is just going all over the damn place tonight. All right, we're going to go through some of the ones that I know Brandon's not interested in, which is all of them. Why am I whispering? He's not here. Anyway, the Concertora of 2022 is BTS. Love BTS, right? And more of a Blackpink. What can I say? Music. Yes, music. Oh, the sci-fi fantasy show of 2022 is Stranger Things. That's quite the nod there, considering how many things Disney Plus alone put out in that category. Star Wars, Marvel. So Stranger Things pulling out the win on that one. Okay, sure. The most binge-worthy show of 2022. The People's Choice Awards has a most binge-worthy show award. Sort of lends credence to Brandon's rants about how awards are worthless, I guess, since they're just finding things to give awards for. Dahmer, Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story. That is the most binge-worthy show of 2022. And quite frankly, some of you know that my day job, I work around children, and quite frankly, it was really weird hearing a bunch of middle schoolers talk about Jeffrey Dahmer. That was weird.
That was weird. And
it was.
I'm sorry for the long bathroom break. Yeah, I had to go do something.
Fair enough. Just the best drama was Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, God. The show sucks.
That show's still on the air.
That show sucks. Oh, it's so bad.
The best comedy is Never Have I Ever, Mindy Kaling's Netflix series, I'm going to say.
I can't speak on it. I don't watch much Netflix.
The action movie star of the year, okay, is Elizabeth Olsen for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
I wouldn't really look at that as being action. No. You know what she does in all of her like Scarlet Witch things, right? This is what she does. Like,
we call it
that's not action.
Well, it's funny because the winner of the comedy movie star of 2022, most people don't call funny, Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
I thought, oh, come on, I thought
what was
delivered that.
What was the comedy that he was in that was so funny?
The basketball one.
That was a comedy?
No, I don't get it. No, it wasn't a comedy. But they're like, Adam Sandler, he's a comedic actor, so naturally he's going to be for best comedic actor.
This is why I don't watch. Okay, Josh, this is why I don't watch award shows, man.
Yeah, it's weirder for the Emmys, when it's just cut and dry between drama and comedy. Those are the only two categories. I say throw in a third dramedy,
That's like saying, oh my God, he was so funny in Uncut Gems. Like, was he?
It was a laugh riot.
Like, the one where he played like a talent agent, I guess, kind of. It was kind of funny, but even that wasn't a straightforward comedy. I think they're just so used to things like Grown Ups or, Eight Crazy Nights or Big Daddy or Happy Gilmore or Billy Madison, whatever. That's not okay. You see why I stopped working for the mainstream industry?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Does it make sense now? Like why I walked away from Hollywood?
Well, I'm just going to go through the top genre films real quick. The best drama was Don't Worry, Darling. A middling movie at best as far as reviews go. The best action movie, according to the People's Choice Awards, Top Gun Maverick. At least it's an action movie in a sense. The best comedy movie, The Adam Project. I seem to be the only one I know that's actually seen it, though.
I've seen it, but there's other comedies that came out since that. I mean, before that, too.
Yeah, more dedicated comedies, too.
Yeah.
That's more like an action comedy. So, yeah, in the best movie, the top winner of the People's Choice Awards for Best Film, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And I'm not going to knock the People's Choice Awards because it, after all, is the only award show that is voted on by the people. But there's a reason why people are the people and not all of these other, organizations that hand out awards.
Okay, but quick question. The Adam Project was entertaining.
Yes.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Uh-huh.
Was hysterical.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's more of a family film, but Jim Carrey was absolutely brilliant in both those movies.
No lies detected.
So I'm like, I have to say, like, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was the closest we got to classic Jim Carrey in a long time. Sonic 1, it was like on the verge, but it's still kind of serious in that one. But Sonic the Hedgehog 2, it was straight up classic Jim Carrey comedy. Like the old school Dumb and Dumber, like Ace Ventura, The Mask, like that style, like the whole like jitteriness of his old school comedy. That was all in Sonic, that was all over the place with him.
What about Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers?
It was okay.
Really good.
It was good. It's just like it didn't really. I watched it like twice. I was going to write a review for the WADcast. Nothing really stuck. Ugly Sonic stuck.
Maybe it's because I was a big fan of the cartoon back in the day.
I was too, though. I remember watching like the newer DuckTales series on Disney Plus, and the episode where Launchpad gets gets caught. He's behind bars, pretending to be like a spy, and the Rescue Rangers help break him out. I lost it when I saw them. When I heard the whole like Rescue Rangers thing when they flew away in their little blimp, like, oh my God, it's Rescue Rangers. But it's like but there were a lot of comedies this year. They were like, I can't believe that the Adam Project is the one that won out of all the actual good comedies that came out. That wasn't even a comedy, I don't think. That was like more like an action, like drama thing with like a few comedy lines of Ryan Reynolds doing what Ryan Reynolds does best, which is play Ryan Reynolds. So I don't know.
Yeah. When Ryan Reynolds shows up, it automatically bends the genre.
Yeah, like he's just going to be who he is. Like it's not like Deadpool. Deadpool's like an action comedy. But
the best comedy I saw this year was probably Weird, the Al Yankovic story.
I still need to see it, and I'm actually surprised that didn't get anything.
Maybe it was released too late.
Then why are we having an award ceremony in 2022 for films that were released in 2022?
People are putting out their best of lists already, and it doesn't make sense to me. At least with the Academy, they don't close things off until the end of the year.
Yeah.
As long as you get a theatrical screening, or I don't remember what the exact rules are, but you have to have at least a limited theatrical run to qualify.
Yeah,
and right now you're going to get a lot of movies that aren't going to be widely released, but they're going to get a limited release over the next 3 weeks, so they can be eligible for the Academy.
Yeah.
But like I said, this is the People's Choice Awards. The only reason why I would even bring it up here is because this is what's supposed to reflect the people. And it's so weird that like the best film goes to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. That seems weird to me. And you know me, I'm a Marvel guy, but this it certainly wasn't the best movie of the year
at all. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. No, it really wasn't. It was like it was okay. That's really it. It was okay.
Well, let's pivot away from that. I really got one more thing that I think bears talking about, and that's the updates when it comes to DC, James Gunn, and Patty Jenkins. The word about Wonder Woman 3 and how it is not in its present form going to be made.
Good.
What can you tell us about the rumored leaks of the plot that were possibly in place?
Yeah, give me 1 second here. Okay, so with Wonder Woman 3, it was Wonder Woman puts Steve Trevor's body in the Lazarus Pit. Now, for those of you that are not familiar with the Lazarus Pit is an ancient pit of whatever chemicals that if you are dead or dying, you put yourself into the pit, or you will have your body lowered into the pit, and it rejuvenates everything about you, but you come back different. It's like Pet Cemetery. You bury the kid, you bury like somebody in the Pet Cemetery, they come back, they're like just psycho, they're ready to kill, whatever. Mm-hmm. Lazarus Pit's the same concept.
Mostly seen in Batman lore.
Yeah. Yes. It's used largely by Ra's al Ghul, who is hundreds of years old because he's always used the Lazarus Pit. On the verge of death or gravely injured, he lowers himself in, he bathes in it, he comes out looking like a fresh like 20 or 30-year-old, and he's ready to live a full life again. Then he goes back in again. When he's about to die, he comes back out again. So in this one, she wants to like lower Steve Trevor into this pit. If you don't know who Steve Trevor is, it's the guy that died in World War II that she was fighting next to. She knew him all of a few days. He dies in a plane off of a runway in an explosion. So there's not much left of him. at this point. If there is, I'm impressed. But then she wishes him to come back, in which case his consciousness or spirit, what the hell ever it was, inhabits the body of a different person that Wonder Woman just decides to go out and have happy adult fun time with, while the guy is possessed by the ghost of her dead boyfriend.
Which brings up
yeah. Is Wonder Woman a hero or is she a rapist? Apparently she's both. Oh man. So in this one, she is going to do that. He comes out, he goes crazy, he joins some psychotic regime, and she has to stop him, and she ends up saving him and putting him in the care of the U.S. government. Because that's good.
Mm-hmm. It's the best.
But what baffles me is the use of the same character, and more so, Wonder Woman herself is a badass. Absolutely. She's from Themyscira. She is from an island of nothing but women Amazonians who are just epic. Could kick the shit out of any guy they ever go against. So Patty Jenkins always said that she wanted a character. She wanted to make sure Wonder Woman was a woman that didn't need a man to make her strong. Like she has to be strong. Only to then say, it's like, but you know what? Steve Trevor reminds me of my grandpa. And I think she even said that Wonder Woman reminded her of herself, which I'm like, so you and your grandpa were, okay, moving on. I don't want to get into that. Like, that's just like connecting those dots is like a whole bunch of hurt. Now, going into this, if you've ever seen Wonder Woman, the first one, yes, she's strong. She's ready to go fight, Ares. She's ready to go take him down.
Yeah.
Ares is kicking her ass the entire fight at the end of the movie. It's not until Steve Trevor jumps on that plane. He whispers something to Diana, but she doesn't hear him. He jumps in the plane and he flies his little ass off into the sunset with all the poison bombs. I think, right? Poison bombs they had on there.
I have no recollection.
Yeah, it's forgettable. Whatever he had on there, he flies off, and he detonates the plane with him on it, killing himself. At this point, Diana thinks, while she's looking at this explosion, of what he said. And he said, I love you. Diana, she's like just wrapped up tight with all these things, all these binds all around her. But now she shoots up and breaks them free, and she roars. You see like this whole explosion behind her, outline of a silhouette of Wonder Woman's body while she's screaming and light sparkling off of her. And she kicks Ares' ass. She kind of needed Steve Trevor to get there, right?
Yeah.
So without Steve Trevor, she would have just gotten her ass, she would have got her teeth smashed in. She had like a really beautiful smile with no teeth that she was done with Ares. Now, moving on to Wonder Woman 84, the entire movie was spent around Steve Trevor. She missed him so much. A guy she knew for a few days in the 1940s. Now we're like 40 years later.
Let me stop real quick.
Go ahead.
I want to interject. We're talking about how Wonder Woman is basically her entire essence seems to be wrapped around this guy. But let's just not forget that it is like the very first guy she ever sees.
I get that. But there's another thing though. It's like
No, I'm not defending it. I think that makes it even more ludicrous.
So I'll look at this later on. But my issue with this, it's the first guy she ever meets. But then between 1940 whatever until 1984, she's met plenty of other men.
Yeah.
So you've got time to move on. But oh God, Steve Trevor, I miss him. Okay. Steve Trevor's consciousness, whatever the hell it was that was possessing this guy's body, convinces her that the wish that she made was selfish, and she needs to let him go. Patty Jenkins wrote the ending to the movie that way. You need to let me go. Okay. So she does, and she tells everyone in the world through this broadcast that it's selfish to want things. And just everyone's so touched by her speech. It's just completely unrealistic.
Except in my head canon, in my current head canon, where Martha Kent does not rescind her wish for a baby.
But so all this goes on, and so now, because she gave up the 5-day-long love of her life and the 3 or 4 day long sexual assault of her life. Sorry, ladies, it's what it was. Might be romantic, but sexual assault. Guy had no say in what was happening to his body. Superhero or not. Female Homelander, Josh, what do you think? Now, the whole thing is so she rescinds her wish, and everyone in the world follows suit. Everyone's like, oh my God, she's so right. Cheetah, Beverly, she's like, oh my God, she's right too. She's so right. She just electrocuted me in this water down here, but she's got a point. And they all give up their wish. Steve Trevor's dead, and now come the third movie. Patty Jenkins is like, you know what? We need more Steve Trevor. It's like Christopher Walken with a cowbell. I've got a fever, and the only cure is more cowbell. It's just too much, and she's pissed. She's pissed because they're like, well, no. We have a direction we're taking this. She's like, well, I don't want to change my script. Well, maybe you should stop having Wonder Woman rely on the same dude off and on every couple decades. Like the one guy that can. Go ahead.
Steve Trevor. He fought in World War I, and that was what, 19 teens? It's like 1918, 1917, as the movie title says.
Something like that, yeah.
And Wonder Woman 84 was in 1984, so that was what, 73 years, right?
Yeah.
So even if Steve Trevor did not make that ultimate sacrifice, he would be well into his 90s at the least during the events of Wonder Woman 1984. So chances are that he'd be very lucky to be in his mid to late 90s at that point. So if he hadn't died, would we be seeing a young, Diana with this 90-year-old?
Go ahead, please. Go ahead. I'm not going to cut you off. Please finish.
Is that what they were? Was that the plan?
I don't know.
He's like, we're going to grow old together. And she's like, well, one of us will. Well,
I'm immortal. Every time
die anyway.
Every time he gets into the 60s or 70s and he puts a remote in the refrigerator, she's like, oh, to the Lazarus pit. Put him in there.
She gets tired of changing his adult diapers. She's like, you should have died in that plane, old man.
I've been doing this for centuries. But the thing is, it just cracks me because Patty Jenkins is legitimately pissed off about this. Ladies, I'm going to try to be as very subtle as I can here. I don't know why everyone jumps to sexism when a movie with a woman leading does not take off. Atomic Blonde was a badass movie. Charlize Theron did a great job. I was just mind blown at how much of a beating that girl took in that movie, and she just kept kicking that ass. It was like the female John Wick. Charlie's Angels with Drew Barrymore, what was it Lucy Liu, and Cameron Diaz. The first one was pretty good. The second one sucked. The first one was good, but there's so many movies women, Hunger Games,
Gunpowder Milkshake,
Alien. There are so many movies where women have led the helm. They were at the front of the helm, and they were just kicking ass the entire time. Or throughout the whole franchise.
And they all better thank Jennifer Lawrence for guiding them the way.
Oh, yeah, right? Thank God for Jennifer Lawrence. For being the first female action hero. It's stuck up, bitch. But the thing is still... just because men look at something and we crack up over how ridiculous it is, you can be strong, independent women that don't need a man. Mm-hmm. But if you're going to do that, make it to where you don't need a man to guide you through the movie. Steve Trevor has been in both Wonder Woman movies as the Jiminy Crickets to Wonder Woman's Pinocchio the entire time. He has been guiding her through every situation, saving her constantly. Come on.
The Patty to her Pinocchio.
Is that would you say it's a bad analogy?
Well, I don't think she's the one giving him wood.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Patty Jenkins, if you ever by chance stumble across this episode of the WADcast, you are your own worst enemy. I've seen the episodes of Entourage that you directed. I've seen the episodes of other shows you've directed. You are so much better than what you're letting yourself be with Wonder Woman. I know you want to make this woman power movie. You're not. You're making a movie that says women cannot be powerful without men. That's what you're making. Because every time Wonder Woman goes out and kicks some ass, it's because of the guy. The love she has for the man makes her kick some ass. So make her a strong, independent woman. Don't just walk away and be like, I can't make my script and done. Make something fresh. Wonder Woman has more than just one love interest, by the way.
How about no love interest?
And I'm just saying, that's fine. That's my whole point the first time. No love interest, but she has more than one. You just want Steve Trevor because he reminds you of your granddaddy. I've listened to your interview. I've read the quotations, make sure I understood it properly. That's great. Yeah, your granddad. Your granddad's not Chris Pine. So just, I don't know, do something fresh again.
So you're saying James Gunn probably saw this pitch and he's like, oh, well, that's stupid.
He didn't turn it down. No, James Gunn didn't turn it down. It was the studio that did. The studio has a very clear direction of what they want to do with the DC characters.
Whatever James Gunn wants.
At this point, yeah. But the thing is, he didn't shoot it down. He actually said he liked the treatment for it. He had a few notes. But the studio said no. And she's like, well, I'm not making it. If I have to change even one thing in this treatment, in the script, I'm not doing it again. Okay, bye. Go do something else.
Well, just to expand on this particular topic just a tad bit, it looks like also that Henry Cavill's return as Superman is very much in doubt, as well as Jason Momoa doing Aquaman again.
And I'm good with it. I think they should scrap everything and just start from scratch.
That would be my preference.
It's not working. Ezra Miller, I don't know what the hell they're thinking about that idiot, but he's just doing whatever the hell he's been doing. Like anyone else would have been fired a long time ago, but it's Ezra Miller.
literally every single other actor has been released and come back and released again from playing these parts.
But not just released, but like released based on someone else's like words. Like, oh my God, he hit me or he abused me. Is there proof? No, but he did it. Fire him. We don't need this heat. Ezra Miller. There's video of him choking someone. Video of him threatening to beat some other guy's ass. Video of him punching a guy. I'm like, guys, he's playing a superhero. Should we maybe just Ezra? Been a great run, buddy. You did good in Justice League. Bye.
And when he's out the door, they're like, "Did you say you really did good in Justice League?" It's like, "No, I'm just screwing with him."
Well, you gotta kiss her ass a little bit. I'll be right back.
Leaves on that note. That's good. But yeah, I would absolutely love to see a great DC cinematic universe. But of course, that all begins with understanding the characters. Something that has been lacking. Let's be honest. It's been a little lacking, especially when it comes to some of the main characters. I completely agree with Brandon when it comes to Wonder Woman having all of the stories revolve around this love interest. It excites me more just to see Diana being amazing for good, because that's what heroes do. It seems like in these particular takes of the heroes, the catalyst for being a hero is it's never hero in this DC universe. The heroes are never heroes just for the sake of being heroes, just because they have power. They're heroes because of reason X, and that's not a far cry from the comics. But to say Wonder Woman only wants to be a hero because of Steve Trevor, it's like, but she's raised to be wise and be good. That's her goal. Not, and one day I'll fall in love and we'll get married and we'll have kids. No.
Well, if you think about Wonder Woman, she was actually made from clay, according to the original, storyline. No, the whole thing is with whatever the hell they're doing with these characters, they need to figure it out. Wonder Woman is not working for what Wonder Woman should be. The Flash has never worked as the Flash. Aquaman, he's not an edgy character, but I get oh yeah, we're in 20 we're in the 20 teens now. We have to make an edgy Aquaman. Hey, Jason Momoa, let's just get him. He's edgy in everything he's in. Let's just go ahead and do him. Whatever. Batman, Batman, Superman, Henry Cavill, and Ben Affleck. It's just I don't know.
I have no
DCEU needs to bring in people from Marvel, like James Gunn or Joss Whedon, not to direct, but to help them coordinate where the future lay. But Joss Whedon can't do it because he is working with Disney on this. So James Gunn, who has worked on multiple projects, not just in the MCU, but other areas where he's worked with superhero things, like with Brightburn. He's worked in the sci-fi sector with things like Slither. I mean, this guy has look at what James Gunn did with Peacekeeper and the Suicide Squad for DC. This man knows what he's doing. Just if he says no, I don't know exactly. No one knows yet what happened truly with Patty Jenkins. But if James Gunn told her to get the fuck out, there's my one per episode, then
well placed.
You might want to listen to James Gunn, because James Gunn can write a romantic scene, a romantic storyline, and not have to be the sole focus of the character. Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Yeah, you had you had Peter Quill, you had Gamora. But you know what? In the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special, there was no romantic subplot at all. None. The whole plot was a very platonic one between Mantis and Drax. There was no romantic anything. It was still a great story. The Suicide Squad, there was no romance involved. It was a great story. Blew the hell out of the one that came out beforehand. That had, guess what? Romance. All about it. It was a love story. Trust him. He might know what he's talking about. Do you want substance, or you just want to be selfish? Make what's going to make sense. Honestly, you really should have brought James Gunn back in much earlier than what you did. Should have watched Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and be like, we need this guy. Brightburn had more of a DC setup at the end than DCEU does. That was a one-off movie. You've seen Brightburn, right?
Most of it.
You didn't watch the ending of it, huh?
No. I was watching it on. I'll just say I was watching it on a ship.
Okay.
And the sails blew away, and I didn't get that back to that stream.
Gotcha. Okay.
Wasn't doing anything illegal, I swear.
Well, at the end of Brightburn, spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen this movie in the last 5-6 years since it came out. There is a scene where the character Brandon, kid with superpowers, but as Superman was just a bad person from birth, kills his mom and dad, and he flies away. You hear reports of a woman with a lasso, a girl with a lasso, killing people too. It was kind of setting up a little Justice League, but an evil young Justice League thing. After Brightburn, you should have hired him on. But Man of Steel was okay. Looking back, I watched it again the other day. I'm like, okay, it does have a lot of problems. Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League. Can we talk about this really quick?
Floor's open.
The DCEU, Warner Brothers has stood by. The fans actually have stood by Zack Snyder's Justice League, the 4 or 5 hour long ass movie. Here's what cracks me up. It's cut into sections, right? 4 or 5 sections?
Yeah.
If you watch a section individually, it doesn't have any arc. There's no cliffhanger. It's not episodic whatsoever. He did that to make it look like, oh, this is artistic. It's not. The Scandinavian woman singing at the beginning of the movie. It's not artistic. It makes no sense. You got rid of things like Superman be like, tell me, do you bleed?
Do you bleed?
Whatever. These things made no sense. He got rid of some things that didn't make any sense, but he kept other things that didn't make sense for the sake of keeping them. Again, the Scandinavian woman was added in. It didn't make sense. We didn't need the Green Lantern. We didn't need the whole backstory of Apocalypse. It was a cool scene, but was it needed? All the slow motion, Zach, all of it, most of it, wasn't needed. We got a brief little glimpse of Cyborg and Flash doing their thing. That would have been awesome to see because we didn't really meet them yet. Wonder Woman's intro was not needed. That 5-minute long. They call themselves. The group called themselves terrorists. Josh. The group of the bomb. They refer to themselves. They refer to themselves as terrorists in that movie. Do you know? Have you ever heard of a single terrorist saying, "Hey, yeah, we're terrorists. What's up?" No, they think that they actually are. They think that they're doing some kind of like God's work.
Yeah, they think they're heroes.
The scene with Batman was taken out of him capturing the parademon.
Yeah,
that was taken out. Why? That was actually a badass scene with Batman. That was a good scene.
My favorite scene: Flash pushing the truck and Superman carrying the building. That was some superhero stuff right there. And Superman giving that cocky like grin, like keep working on it, kid.
Wasn't that taken out though of Zack Snyder's version?
It was gone.
Yeah. Things that made Superman. Zack says, "No, we don't need this." Slow poke. Like that would be a Superman thing to do. Just kind of taunt it like a friend / coworker, whatever. Dude, Zack, you failed. And then we fast forward to like whatever future of Apocalypse ruling the Earth and Superman hunting everyone. And like, dude, Zack, you're not edgy. Your shit is mediocre at best with beautiful cinematography. You have a gorgeous eye of cinematography. You suck as a storyteller. I'm sorry, you do.
I'm going to say this, that one of apparently
Dawn of the Dead was good.
One of Zack Snyder's calling cards for the DC movies has been to load up an intriguing situation with absolutely zero context.
Yeah, because he wants to look artistic. He wanted to be like, just because you add slow motion in, well, come on, what the hell was Martian Manhunter doing in this movie? You have any idea what you did to Man of Steel with that guy being Martian Manhunter? You think Superman could have used a little help back then, fighting off Zod and everyone else?
Or how about this? Just spitballing here. If Martian Manhunter's there during the Battle of Metropolis, right? Have this interesting situation where these two Kryptonians, they're fighting through the city and, just really tearing things up. And suddenly this Martian dude comes up and just snatches them both and flies them away from the scene because he doesn't know who the good guy and the bad guy is. He's just grabbing everybody that's causing damage and telling them, "You're not going to fight here."
I was going to say, wasn't Martian Manhunter actually technically stronger than Superman?
It depends on how you define strength, but definitely.
But he was he was actually able to hold Superman and I think Wonder Woman at the same time at one point and like restrain them together, and they both kind of matched each other on strength levels. So, but yeah, like that.
If he was there, he should have helped. Stop the damage to Metropolis. It's the same problem I have with Black Adam, where Dr. Fate is confronting him in this crowded area, and instead of Dr. Fate, the hero saying, "Hey, we can go there, we can go there, we can literally go in a mile any direction to talk this out or fight this out, whatever you want to do. But we probably shouldn't do this in a very populated area because stuff's going to get broken." You dig? So how about we go somewhere and deal with this issue we have? And instead, he's like, "We're going to fight here. Kneel before me." Where have I heard that before?
Superman. You know what cracked me up with Black Adam? The kid on the skateboard with a caper. And this kid's way too damn old. This kid's like 15, 16 years old on a skateboard with a cape tied around his neck. Like when he appears and he's saving people, he's just standing on a skateboard with a cape blowing in the wind. I'm like, really?
Hero shot.
So all these people, they saw you with a cape around your neck and a skateboard. And they're like, he looks like a superhero. Hey, he's got a cape. they all have a cape. We should follow him. And you have this hero shot of the kid coming around a corner in the middle. There's a village in the Middle East on a skateboard with his cape flowing in the wind. Like, huh? All right. Well, DC, this is where you're going with this one, huh? This is what we're doing.
James Gunn, burn it to the ground.
Oh, God. On that note, oh God. Oh.
Should that be the next T-shirt? Just James Gunn, burn it to the ground. WADcast.
Oh.
I'll keep workshopping.
Please. It's just so bad. Oh God, Kevin Smith. If you ever watch the show, you follow us. You do follow us. If you watch the show, please. We would love to discuss this with you. I know that you're actually friends with these people, so you can only say so much, but we would love to talk to you about this. Thank God. Anyway.
Well, if you want Kevin Smith to reach out for you, Brandon, where can you do that? You like that segue?
I did. Well, hit us on Facebook or Instagram. They're both the same names. Facebook.com/the WADcast. Instagram.com. Sorry. Yeah, God. Instagram.com/the WADcast. You'll notice both pages. Yeah, it just said the WADcast. You saw the spoilers at the bottom of the screen, by the way, Josh.
Oh. Oh, sorry. We were, spoiling the fact that some of those decisions in those movies were very bad.
All right. But yeah, so Facebook.com /the WADcast, Instagram.com /the WADcast. Both pages have the same profile picture. It's a black picture with a white banner that says the WADcast in it. Like and follow. Our WADcast website is down as of right now. It's not that we don't have one. We are trying to find a new home because GoDaddy is way too damn expensive. So we're trying to find somewhere else. We're not looking to spend $22 a month on GoDaddy. Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, that's where you can find me. Josh, what about you?
Well, since you asked so nicely, if you want to find out more about the stuff we do here at Wadco Media, all you have to do is go to wadcomedia.com, where all the pertinent links and social information is posted for you to follow through on. There's a Patreon, although I get uncomfortable saying, please give us some money, please. Just a shilling. No, I'm not gonna beg you for your monies, but if you want to buy some merchandise, there's a shop there for that, which also includes this design, this logo hoodie. You can get it on, t-shirts and stuff too. Mugs, if you will. It has all that cool stuff, as well as the shirt that Brandon was wearing. If he would have stuck around, I would have said, hey, Brandon, model that shirt. And that's something for you video watchers to check out. If you're only listening to the audio version, go to wadcomedia.com and you'll be able to see the link to the merchandise and you'll get an idea of exactly what I'm talking about. That way, when you spend money, you're actually going to get something. Something pretty cool, I think. So check that out. And if you want to hear more shows, don't forget to join us every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 Pacific for 1021. It's a list podcast where we make lists. Jen and I, we make lists about movie stuff. And on Thursday, it's TV dinners where we talk about TV stuff hosted by Jen. It's a good time had by all. We produce stuff here at Wadco Media. That's sort of the whole gist of the gig. Brandon, now that you're back and, the people are watching here, why don't you model your nice WADcast shirt, since I already modeled this Wadco Media hoodie.
There we go. This way. All right.
Look at that sexy shirt.
That is the shirt. There we go.
It's in a functional QR code too.
It is, yes. It does work. I have 2 other WADcast shirts in my possession, but they are not, one of which I actually had made, because I also had one made for Josh over here. But the other one is of the Clerks variety. Would you like me to put that on and model that too?
Yeah, go ahead. Go change. Were you being facetious?
I was.
Dance monkey boy. You went to go change his shirt. Oh, this is what you miss when you're not watching us live. And you can join us live every Friday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, right here for the WADcast. You can see the live feed on all sorts of different places. It's the WADcast
there you go.
WADCO Media's Facebook page, WADCO Media's YouTube page, and the Twitch channel, Skid Comic, I believe it's still called. There's the WADcast Clerks homage shirt. So one of the ones I'm particularly proud of. It's in black and white on a black and white baseball tee. I love it. And of course, Brandon, looking sexy as ever, sporting the team colors.
Black and white.
Yeah.
But and I had a tee. I had the baseball tee with our actual newer, our second run logo on it.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of got lost in the mix, but that was actually my favorite baseball tee I had. I've got a few.
Like I say, I'm no graphic designer, but I like to think I do pretty okay.
Yeah, you did pretty good. So, all right. But I do have to get going, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone have a great night. I'm going to let Josh take it away with you guys with the words of wisdom and inspiration.
Yep, you know what time it is.
Josh is good with it. But, Josh, I will talk to you in a little while here, buddy.
Yes, sir.
All right, bud. Have a good night, everybody.
All right, it's just us now. So before we get out of here, I do this thing every week where I give you the final thought. And the final thought is the same as it always is. Remember, the only thing standing between you and your dreams is you. If you want to be an actor, go out and do some acting. It doesn't even have to be for money. It doesn't have to be for people. Just act like somebody else, whether it's in the supermarket line or whatever. If you want to be a writer, write up some lines, punch up some dialogue, write some scenes, and there you are. That's it. That's literally all it takes. These are the things that you strive to do. You want to create your art, then do it. Do it. The only thing standing between you and your dreams is you. Now, mind you, you're not gonna, wake up tomorrow and be the next Quentin Tarantino, and you're probably not gonna wake up and be the next whatever person is leading the field that you want to be in. But at least you would have taken that first step towards becoming the thing that you want to be. And you can't do that if you don't stop stopping yourself. So stop stopping yourself and get on board with making your dreams come true. All you got to do is one thing, and that's start. I'm not sure that made sense, but if you understand it and if you take it to heart, by all means, more power to you. I look forward to hearing your voice and whatever voice that may be in the artistic world. Okay, well, that's going to do it with the WADcast, Writers, Actors, Director Podcast. This has been episode number 114. We will be back next week with episode number 115, getting ready for the big holidays coming up. And I hope that each and every one of you has a really great week. And until next time,